Hello, my name is Julia Kitchen. I'm 69 years old and I came to see Marie-Agnes just before Christmas 2009 on the recommendation of a friend of mine who had had her atlas replaced a few weeks beforehand. Um, I felt that this was something that I needed to have done because I had severe pain in that area in my head and neck, and I have felt for many years that that bone had been out of place. And for many years, and I'm talking about 50 years here, I couldn't find an osteopath to actually do anything about it. This is not a bone that they tend to deal with. So I went on suffering, and as I got older, it got worse. Various riding accidents and falling off ladders and general gardening and stuff like that didn't actually help it. And eventually my spine started to deteriorate because it was being put under a great deal of pressure. I had 3 operations on the lumbar spine and 1 operation on the cervical neck spine because they needed to be decompressed, and this didn't alleviate the problems that were getting very bad in my head and neck then. The pressure in my head itself was building up very badly, and at times I felt as if I simply couldn't stand it any longer and I was just going to burst. I was having perpetual sinus problems, I was having balance problems, I was having all sorts of visual problems, and I was having almost constant earache. I have a GP who is totally uninterested in the health of his patients, so I got no help there, and I was told I was making it all up just to get attention. And I was really desperate because I knew perfectly well that could I find somebody to put this bone back into place, the problem would be solved. And I came to Marie-Agnes and she did just that. She put the bone back into place just before Christmas 2009, and I have been feeling an enormous sense of relief, empowerment too, because I now feel that I'm back in charge of my own health. My head and neck are now better than they have ever been, and I think that's entirely due to her. From a point of view of the rest of the body, still problems lower spine unfortunately, but that's nothing to do with her. But I have had some purges which are brought about by the realignment of this atlas bone. The sinuses cleared miraculously and quite dramatically for about 3 weeks. There are various digestive purges that go on. These are not terrible or something that you can't deal with, but you ought to be aware that they might happen. But you do feel a sense of relief in your emotional life as well, because you no longer have this awful feeling of being a victim, I suppose, of health, bad health that needn't happen. And this is such a simple, painless and wonderful, miraculous cure that I would recommend anybody to come along and try it, because you'll be so amazed, and it'll be one of the best things that you'll ever do in your life, I think.